We are going to record the meeting, okay? So we are calling our webinars World Behavior Series because we're all working on planetary health and welfare. And I see the world as an entity having behavior, being alive, and we are all working here. And again, our collective purpose is, of course, to build a more fair, safer, and healthier planet. All of you know, okay, these are the objectives of our meeting. I would like for us to discuss examples of how the multiple technical webinar should be scheduled and conducted. And we're going to take some examples. And what we expect at the end of the meeting is to have an agreement on the best way to implement multiple webinars and make them original, useful, and effective. There are so many webinars all the time. How can we make ours different, more interesting? And a preliminary go ahead on something that I wanted to do for many, many years, and is to initiate a collective intelligence network or core group, which is intergenerational, multidisciplinary, and multi-country, of multipodians and mentors to address the issues, not only the problems, the issues and problems of the 21st century. And I will tell you something more about that later. The agenda is very easy. Now we are in the welcome and introduction, a few minutes late. And then I will make a presentation for you to select 2 problems and 2 issues. Then Anaili is going to assign you, I think it's going to be a random assignment of 3 or 4 people to different rooms. And after you work for 12, 15 minutes, you come back with some ideas and each group make a presentation of what happened. And then we have a plenary discussion with questions, answer, opinions, and comments, and then conclusions and next steps. If some people want to stay for further discussion or because they have questions about the program or something else, we will have an additional 10, 15 minutes to do so. Okay, so this is the agenda. Now, I call it world behavior because we're talking about the forces, the power, the action, the rules, and change that is going on in the world. This is not original. It's something that I put together based on the old epidemiological models and some other ideas of interventions. But what we have are the people, the persons. And then we have the environment, which is the biological and social and economic and whatever environment. We are surrounded by that, the communities, etc. Policies, which are the rules, the order, politics, and governance. And then the interventions that we design when we find a problem or when there's an issue that we need to work on. Artificial intelligence, for example, is an issue, not a problem, at the community, country, region, or global levels. And of course, in each one of these areas, we have risks and weaknesses, and also opportunities and strengths. This is the way we look at our world. The Americas is the Western Hemisphere in green. Then we have Sub-Saharan Africa in blue. We have in, what is that, what color? North Africa and the Middle East in a little bit pinkish. We put in red Europe, actually it's Eurasia and Asia because it includes Russia. And then we have Southeast and South Asia and the Pacific in yellow. And finally, a few countries in Central Asia that are still finding, or we're still trying to understand what is going on. The Kazakhstan, the Tajikistan, the Kyrgyzstan, etc., etc. And this is one of the things that I wanted to show you because this is an issue, but it's also a problem. And you can choose what your group would like to discuss. Africa, South Asia, East Asia and the Pacific, Americas, Middle East and North Africa, Central Asia, and Europe. And you can see here the total population in the same year that we had. These are the poorest of the poor, living, surviving on less than $2 per day. And here's the Human Development Index, which it would be very interesting, and this is something that we know, all the countries in the bottom are at the bottom are in Africa except Yemen, and all the other countries are in the west, in either Europe, and we have here two tigers, Singapore and Hong Kong from Asia. The Gini coefficient, which is also an indicator of the degree of education, health, and development of a country. And the lowest, the Gini, it measures inequality in the countries, within the countries. And you can see in the lighter color, those countries which have less inequality, and in the darker colors, the countries which have more inequality. That doesn't mean that the rich countries don't have inequalities, and even poor countries can have not large inequalities because everybody's poor. Okay, so and here the ones with the highest and lowest Gini coefficients, and again you have South Africa, and you have countries in the Americas, Brazil and Belize. And then you have the ones with high coefficient, and you have former socialist republics. And you have, of course, the United Arab Emirates, where everybody is very rich. And then a few more countries, Belgium, Iceland, etc. Leading causes of death and globally. Here, the only thing I want to show you, and we can send this presentation annually to all the groups, to everybody, so they can choose what they are going to discuss in their group. And in green, you can see what we will see as the transmissible diseases, and in blue, non-communicable diseases. And these are the 10 causes of death globally. Then, Magdalena is waiting. Okay. And then we have the comparison between high-income countries and low-income countries. And you can see the big difference in the communicable and the non-communicable diseases. The only one that we have here in the high developing countries, high-income countries, are the lower respiratory infections. And here you have something different, the road injuries. And in white, you have 2000, and in the other color, you have 2019. So road injuries, that people don't think about that, have increased tremendously in the developing world. Another problem, 71 million people are forcibly displaced worldwide because of conflict. 41 million within their country have to move, have to leave their communities because of security issues. And every day, 37,000 people leave their homes. And also, this is an issue. In the early 2000s, finally, at the global level, the urban population is more than the rural population. Most people live in urban areas. And this is an issue and maybe a problem or maybe a solution. Very poor farmers that come to a city maybe have more access to education or to food that they will have in their communities. The world is warming. This is the issue number one. We did a survey of mentors and mentees, 100 and some answered, no more than that, 200 from different regions and 42 countries. And this was the number one problem identified. That was in 2019. The only countries that put something else as number one were the African countries, with development as the main issue. This is something that you may not expect to see. But in the Americas, we are the champions of homicide. And I'm not talking only the US, which is low, except for the mass killings, but Mexico, Venezuela, El Salvador, Colombia, Brazil, I mean, so many countries. And I don't know what that is. This would be a good problem to explore in one of the webinars. We have one of the mentors who is an expert on violence, and then followed by Africa. But look at East Asia and the Pacific, 16 times less than the Americas. So why do we have those differences? And will be interesting, and again, Monica, this will be interesting for you to investigate the status, the legality of weapons. In the US, people kill and kill and kill because they have access to war weapons, semi-automatic rifles or whatever. They can kill 20 people in just one moment. And
yeah, we also had a similar problem right now in Serbia. I mean, it's close, but still.
Yeah. And people still have
a serious problem, yeah.
Yeah, so that could be something to investigate and perhaps to discuss in one of the groups. Terrorism has also increased all over the world. And of course, you would expect that Iraq and Afghanistan would be number one, but you have a series of countries in which terrorist attacks, and you can see the definition of a terrorist attack is there, and you will have this slide if you want to discuss. Is this an issue? Is this something good or something bad? Some people say this is good because the two big guys cannot use the weapons. It's a deterrent for the rest of the world. But what happens if some of these decide to start a nuclear war? I mean, it's an issue, but may be a problem. And then I go to something that people, we ask you, what would you be interested in as a technical issue? And most people talk about mental. And I keep saying that mental and dental health are extremely important and common. Everybody will go through at some point with some mental anxiety or depression. And also all of us will have a problem with later on in life. This is percentage of years live with disability. Of course, mental and behavioral, but also musculoskeletal disorders, especially the old people. They are the greatest number of years or percentage of years live with the disability. And they haven't changed in the 20 years of this study. This will be also very interesting to analyze in one of the groups. It has the different ages and the division by sex of all these disorders, the depressive disorders, anxiety, schizophrenia, etc. And you can notice that women are more depressed than men. But more men commit suicide than women. You see problems of autism more in boys than in girls. So this will be something that you may want to consider for one of the discussion groups. And this is mental and substance abuse, anxiety disorders, depression, alcohol use, eating disorders, mostly young women, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, etc. The COVID, this was in the first few months of 2020. The number of people who expressed stress, anxiety, or sadness, and this was at the beginning of the pandemic when everybody died. Everybody died. Basically, so many people died. And then, is this an issue or is this a problem? Compare Africa and the population pyramid with the population pyramid of Europe. What about the demographers, the sociologists? What are the implications of this? And here you have, again, it's the same thing. So we don't need to go beyond that, but you can see how the pyramid expanded and now it's like a bell. Africa is the region that is going to have more population by the year 2100. What will happen then? Is there something that should be done, can be done? So one of the poorest region of the world. But also we have issues with climate, oil reserves, natural gas reserves, Middle East and North Africa. Venezuela is the #1 country as far as reserves of oil, but you have half of the oil reserves in these countries, Middle East and North Africa, and 45% of natural gas reserves. The number of democracies has increased. Does that have any significance? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, we need to talk about those issues. This is not only health. We're talking about world behavior and the Asian tigers, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, South Korea, compared with the global average. The United Nations, does it work? Especially the Security Council. If you have 4 members, one of them can block anything and everything. And that's enough. The other guys, you have 3 seats for Africa, 2 for Asia and Middle East, 2 for Latin America and the Caribbean, Western Europe and others, and then Eastern Europe 1. So what can we do about that? So the working groups are actually going to be meeting think tanks, because this is like an essay, like a trial to see if this is the direction we want to take in our webinars. And this is something that we need to discuss. So I suggest that each one of the groups, you have your brief introductions, you select somebody who is going to be the facilitator, somebody who is going to present, address the issue or problem that you have chosen, you reach an agreement, and then you prepare to present when everybody comes. And we will have a discussion, and then I have a few questions. As I mentioned before, a consultation for all of you. So this is what I wanted to present to you. And here are issues and problems that you need to choose, select for the groups. And Ailey, now it is your turn to tell us what is going to happen.
Yeah, we have 4 groups. It won't be manually, randomly or at random. I assign 1 mentor to each group, so that's how it's going to work now. So I'm going to open the rooms. You need to go there, join. And I don't know, I couldn't listen, Dr. Zacarias, how much time they will.
12, 15 minutes.
Okay.
At 12 minutes, we let them know.
Yeah.
And we come back and we have 15 minutes for the discussion.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can join.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you in 12, 15 minutes. Irma, hello, Irma, my friend Irma. I'm sorry you didn't introduce yourself. I'm sorry I missed when you entered the room.
Okay.
So perhaps you can
Okay.
introduce yourself once everybody's here.
Okay, I think everybody's here. Hi, everybody. I'm being asked to join group 2 again, but anyhow, I'm Irma Manoncourt. I live in Paris, France. My background is in health behavior. My doctorate's in health behavior. I used to work for the United Nations, specifically for UNICEF, and I headed up their social and behavior change program when I first joined the organization and ended it as a country representative in Egypt.
Okay, okay, good, thank you. Okay, how did it go? Before we start with the discussion, I would like to know which themes or problems each group chose. So, Anu, what problem did your group choose? And
We actually,
Aisha? Oh, Anu, yeah.
yeah,
Please.
so we actually ended up discussing some topic ideas and suggestions for future webinars instead.
Ah, okay, that's great. That's great. Group two. Group two could be.
I think we
Betty.
were, yeah,
Oh, Julia, please.
I think, right, we were group two, me, Betty, and Irma. We talked about the topic of maternal and neonatal health.
About what? I'm sorry.
Maternal and neonatal health.
Ah, okay, okay, good. And group three, which was Monica and
We
Mercedes.
chose mental health.
Mental health. Okay.
Yeah.
And group four.
Is that us?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Jose Romero. Yeah, and
Yes, if you will allow us. We did not collage them. You know, we used the time to express the three priorities for each one. First priority was the difference between transmissible and non-transmissible per regions. And what does that mean, you know, in terms of really understanding. The second one was really going deep into the nature of equity, also by regions, and how that just defines so many elements. And the third point was the nature of interventions, the effectiveness of interventions, the relationship between theory and practice, the relationship between the what and the how.
okay, okay, great, great. So there are 5, 7 different themes. We can only discuss one of them in the group. And there are 2 parts of the discussion. One is to talk about one of the technical subjects, and the other one is the questions about the future of the webinars. So we have mental health, we have equity, we have, well, of course, the discussion of the themes. We have mental health, we have maternal and neonatal health, and which was the other one?
The
The
other,
relationship between the what and the how in the interventions.
Okay, okay. So which one? Raise your hand. Mental health.
Yeah, wait, I'll go for group 1, and Anu and Aisha can add. What we did, Fernando, is we discussed the future of webinars.
Okay.
We discussed it under 3 headings: frequency, format, and who would do it. The frequency, what Aisha and Anu felt was that during the summer, it's a little difficult because people are busy, etc.
Yeah.
But one suggestion was maybe once a month or once in 2 months, or a Google poll can be sent out as to what people felt, whether it should be once a month or twice a month or once in 2 months, etc. That is as far as the frequency is concerned. The format, what Aisha and Anu felt was that they felt that they would like to lean into the expertise of mentors. You already have 30 mentors just now, I think, in this cohort. And what both Aisha and Anu felt, that we should lean into the expertise of the mentors. Some mentors are economists. Some mentors have a lot to to know about the health economics and its impact of cost of living, inflation. Just now, Anu said that the hot topic in the UK and of course in Americas is inflation and the cost of living and its effect on this thing. So what can be done is a little brainstorming can be done about the expertise of certain mentors in certain domains or areas, and that it could be chosen from that. And the whole idea would be to learn from each other. It is a two-way traffic. Both mentor and mentee. Mentee can learn from mentor and mentor can learn from mentee. And what they suggested is use the digital technology of Google Polls, etc., to look at it. Another topic which both Aisha and Anu said is mental health in the workplace. Mental health in the workplace, because everybody is working. We know mental health is a very broad topic, but everybody is affected in the workplace. So maybe that can be taken as a suggestion. So these were, and Anu and Aisha, please add anything if I've missed out.
And anything else, the group? Because I think this is a critical theme. This is the most important part. The mentorship is for you, for the young people. And young people may suggest and even lead one of the discussions. For example, I had a mentee from China who was working on gender issues and gender discrimination in the European Parliament. I had no idea about any of those issues. Well, a little bit. And she taught me, and we had very nice, very good discussions. And the mentor many times can be a guide during the discussions and can give you structure and can give you opinions. When you face an issue, you may know a lot about that issue or very little, but you still have questions, have comments, and have opinions, and everything is valid. Because what we want is people to think and then feed each other with ideas. That's what we want, and that's what we need in that collective intelligence group or network. So, and we have, as Dr. Firdousi, we have mentors in many of these areas, but don't feel that you cannot contribute because you come from many different disciplines. You are in bioengineering and you are interested in diagnostics for something, and people say, okay, this is a good subject to discuss. We can do it. Okay. Any other comments? Because we were going to ask you another question regarding the webinars. The webinars are going to be technical, okay, scientific and technical, but also practical. We can talk about specific interventions and policies and politics, whatever. But we also have the fora. A forum is for everybody to talk about the mentorship, to talk about their own experience, what is going on, what is what you need, what is missing, what is your suggestion to improve, etc., etc. Right now, we have a good record. 70% of our young people get what they want. And this is with 7 sessions, and some people with more, and some people with less. Because remember, a mentor makes you advance your career very rapidly. They give you the secrets of the trade, the tips that you need to interview or to write your resume or to deal with people at work, etc., etc. I'm going to leave you because I'm going to bring a book that I want to show you for just 1 second. Oh, wait, you can look at my fish in the meantime. I have fish on both sides. Okay. You know, and it's so interesting because one of my projects is what you all suggested in group 1, well-being at work. This is a book by the scientific directors of the Gallup. Gallup makes all sorts of polls and surveys all over the world, more than 100 countries, almost 200 countries. And they talk about what elements you need. We can send you the reference, and even the Amazon is a little bit expensive here, but I don't know how much it would be. And it's really interesting because it talks about the 5 areas of well-being. And if we can take that and discuss it with the mental health and something else, that would be very good for a forum. And then we have something on gender issues that are really interesting. On Friday, I will attend, one of our former mentees has become an expert in neuroscience regarding to gender and the impact and the effect of hormones in the brain of women. Women have 4 cyclic brains. We men, we only have 1, boom, boom. And women are fortunate to go through 4 phases, according to the neuroscientists. And then we have the social aspects. So it will be very interesting to try to merge both and come with new ideas about how to accelerate the process of women assuming positions of leadership. Remember, it's only after millennia, it's only since the 1960s that women started to really get some power. Some power officially, power that matters in general. So we have a question for you too, and that is the scheduling. We have thought about every month or every second month, but we have 17 time zones. So that's why we are going to repeat all the webinars and fora twice, because our friends in Japan and in Korea and in Australia, we wanted to meet with us the following day. So we have, tonight we have one at 7, so that Australia and Korea can join us. And Ailey, why don't you send them the schedule and you can choose, and you can
Yeah.
do that.
I'm going to share so you can, you can see.
And then
And I will, let me just look for the pool. You can choose different options. You must be seeing like a survey, mini survey now in your screen. And you can choose the options.
can they see all the hours? But we should have put the universal time, but we put Vancouver, Washington, Geneva, New Delhi, Seoul, and Brisbane in Australia. So 9 o'clock in Washington, DC, 6 a.m. in Vancouver, 3 o'clock, 15 in Geneva, 18:30 in New Delhi, 22 in Seoul, and 23 in Brisbane, Australia. And 8 is 2 hours later. 11 is 14 in Washington, 20 in Geneva, 8 o'clock at night. And then the rest are not that good. And then 19 in Washington is, oh no, it's too late. That's not a very good one. So people in, well, we have already asked 2 other groups, and we have an idea of what would be the most convenient time. Okay.
So is the assumption that there's only one time frame that would interest us?
You can choose whatever you think are the best times for you.
Okay, so we can choose more than one.
You can
Okay.
choose more than one, yes.
Okay.
Ah, okay, 11, okay. We still have 2 people who have not participated, okay. Okay, I think we're okay. So it seems that 11 and 14 are the best choices for this group. Okay.
Yeah, we'll end the poll.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, my friends, I was very ambitious to think that we were going to discuss some themes, but as we said in the beginning, what we wanted is for you to see some examples of issues and problems, and I'm very happy that you also discuss the scheduling of the meetings. So we are going to program another forum and another webinar in June, and maybe we can skip sometime in July or August. What I mentioned before is that we may have, it's enough to have 5 people to have a webinar or a forum. We don't need more. Well, we want more, but we don't want for people to lose the opportunity, to miss the opportunity to meet with other people in the program. So we will send you more information. You will receive the recording of this meeting, and we will keep in touch with you. I want to thank you for your time. And those of you who have questions or would like to remain for a few minutes to ask a question or to give us an answer, you can stay. Are there any comments right now before we adjourn officially? And then some people may want to stay for 10 more minutes.
Yeah, just a suggestion, Fernando, is that there are 14 participants over here. Now, you see, just giving an example that if Aisha wants to get in touch with me, or if Anu wants to get in touch with me, or I want to get in touch with them, it would be useful if Aneli can send out the contact details, the emails, so that cross connections, etc., can be facilitated and easily be done. You know, the whole idea is to network,
Yeah.
and our main purpose is to facilitate networking amongst mentees, mentors, and between all.
Excellent, Filos. I think we in previous years we sent everybody the profiles and all the data. I think this year we did not. I think we only sent the mentors, no, to everybody.
The
So
profile.
thank you. So we are going to do that almost immediately. Send everybody the profiles and we have abbreviated profiles of the mentees, Aneli? No.
No.
Okay, so what don't you and I talk, because we don't want to share everything in your application, just the data that will be important for people to know that you are studying this or that, and also the countries that you know, and so that you can establish a contact and networking. As usual, Firdausi, very useful suggestions. Thank you. Okay, well, everybody, thank you for your participation. And I'm not going to leave, but please, those of you who want to leave, please feel free.
Thank
the
you.
session. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Bye-bye.
nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.